kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome everybody to Sim Racing Media. Tonight it is home to the fired up eSports League. Keep your grip at the Paperclip at Martinsville Speedway. Last week was a race dominated by Cody Porter, Alex Link, and Oscar Jensen. Porter and Link were running away with the race until a costly pit stop cost Alex Link, and it boiled down to Jensen and Porter as they were battling it out. Had a little bit of bumping, and only Jensen was able to make it through it. Travis Davila was able to capitalize and bring home the win. And tonight, if that aggression wasn't enough, we head to short track racing at Martinsville. I am Mike Demoni. Alongside me, as usual, is Matt Metler. Matt, how's it going?
Mike, I am doing fantastic this evening, and as you said, we are primed and the stage is set. You couldn't ask for a better follow-up given the events and the craziness and madness from last week. Now we're going to take all of that. We're going to package them up in the box at the Paperclip. Short track racing Thursday night, prime time. I'm fired up, Mike. I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. We have a few newcomers here as they're working their way to get this field going here. Tonight, though, they're racing for more than just the title of the winner of the Get a Grip at the Paperclip, or Keep Your Grip at the Paperclip. They're racing for a pair of Martin Sports racing gloves. We are in for 145 laps with 3 tire sets. Fuel run shouldn't matter too much, but tires are going to be important.
Yeah, tires are certainly going to be a premium tonight with just 3 sets. Really easy to burn off that right rear here at Martinsville, especially if you're quick getting on the throttle on corner exit. You can certainly pay for that later on in the run. So many different storylines, like you were saying, Mike. Last week, the Mean Machine, Alex Link, proved he was human after all with a costly pit stop mistake. Bunched the field back up. One of the craziest finishes I've ever seen in my life in iRacing last week. How is this all going to boil over and carry over to tonight? Right now, looking at the practice speeds, though, kind of reminiscent of what we've been seeing a little bit here. Frank Peacock so far at a 19.266. Newcomer Matthew Bryson in the second spot at a 19.3 flat. Brandon Cooper, Brian Whitney, and Alex Link coming in between your top 5 and top 6 trucks right now.
Yeah, definitely. They're getting their practice laps in. We're going to go qualifying here in a couple minutes, it looks like. Speaking of that, Alex Link was basically undefeated before the race last week. He's our current points leader. He's got 144. Next closest is Brian Whitney with 120. And then Cody Porter with 119. And Frank Peacock up 4 spots and only 3 back of Cody Porter at 116. And those are the top 4.
Yeah, even with that miscue last week, Alex Link still has a sizable points lead this early on in the go. Almost like taking a mulligan or having a free race this early on. Hopefully he doesn't have to use it tonight. But we've seen these guys on the bigger tracks. We've seen the plate racing at Daytona. We've seen the tricky triangle. Now we're going to get a taste of a whole different style of race. We're going to put them in the paperclip. We're going to take that track size. We're going to cut it in half. We're going to turn these boys loose tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you go from, the full track racing that we've been doing, and then you come here in the basically less than half mile paperclip. I mean, with 145 laps, there's bound to be some bumping and some use of that good old-fashioned chrome horn as they work their way through the field.
Yeah, so attrition and payback. Does payback come into play this week? Or do you wait later on? I got to imagine a couple of these drivers are going to be looking out their rearview mirror from time to time, seeing if that's coming as we get ready to go into qualifying here.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew Brinson's on track. Alex Link, Jeremy Garand are all getting ready to go here. Right now, looking at Matthew Brinson, getting ready to start his first lap.
As he comes off the corner, rumbles down the backstretch. Gonna try to hold that truck down low as tight to that inside line there as you possibly can. Hard on the gas off the apex of the corner and back hard on the brakes. Oh, gets a little loose there. Kind of misses the entry of the corner.
Yeah, his first lap there though was a 19.31. So he is definitely on his way to the top of the board. Brandon Cooper, his first lap was a 19.35. Clayton White, same. Brian Whitney, only a 10th back there.
Yep, Alex Link, your 10, your points leader, coming in at a 19.576.
And Jeremy Weigel here. 19.96, so a little slower. Looks like he might have had a little bit of trouble.
Right, and some of these drivers look like you still have to go out and make one more lap. Change up near the top of the board. Brandon Cooper, your 18 truck, jumps to P2 with a 19.348.
Looks like Oscar Jensen finished his in a 19.49. Alex Link is trying to get a second lap. And as we're looking at Alex Link, it looks like Frank Peacock got up there with a 19.30. So he was definitely flying, sitting on the provisional pole after his first lap.
Yeah, just about backed up his practice lap of a 19.266.
Second lap he just completed, 19.28. So he is definitely figured out this track. It looks like we've got Cody Porter out here finishing up one of his laps. $19.39, so he'll sit P5 right now.
Yeah, the big thing that's screaming out to me right now, Mike, is look how close the first top five, I mean top 7-8 trucks are right now. I mean, you're talking fractions of a tenth of a second between these guys. I think that's going to be indicative of some really tight racing here again tonight. And I can't imagine how much tighter it could get. But then again, it's Martinsville, so this may be a whole new animal we haven't even yet to uncover within the Fired Up series here this evening.
Yeah, we're gonna have what, 15? Looks like 15 trucks. A few of them haven't completed a qualifying lap yet, but you know, some of the guys might decide, hey, I'm gonna sit out qualifying and start at the back and see where I can go from there.
Sometimes that's not a bad strategy, especially if you feel that there's going to be a lot of anticipation or a lot of nerves at the start of the race. That'll help you, you know, get slowed down in time and help you miss some of that early action out there on the racetrack. Keep your truck in one piece for the end, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like they're pretty well set here. Looks like Ron Holmes, Josh Benoit, Jeremy Garand, and Andrew Ton won't take a qualifying lap with only about 30 seconds left. So we will be headed shortly to grid, and once they get down there, we'll go through the grid. But these guys have been racing several different tracks, and it doesn't get any easier next week either, as after Martinsville here, we're gonna head to a little dirt track racing at Eldora.
Oh, a lot of people don't consider dirt track a wild card, but I certainly do. In my book, you know, you're 99% of the races in this series and most series are going to be on asphalt. And you totally throw that out the window when you go to Eldora, I'm sorry. That's going to be a dirt surface. You're going to be letting that back of that truck hang out. Old school Friday night racing comes into play. That's going to be a whole entire different animal next week. But certainly down the stretch here, it is, I mean, the way the series has set these tracks up, they are really testing every aspect of these drivers competing here tonight.
They definitely have. And as the drivers are getting in their trucks to get on the grid, like we will have, like I said, 15 go. Stayed in here, but Frank Peacock is looking to improve on his performance of last week. Starts on the pole here with a 19.275. Newcomer Matthew Brinson is on the outside of row one, sporting that mood light speed concepts there. Brandon Cooper and Clayton White in row two. Cody Porter and Brian Whitney in row three. Row four, Oscar Jensen and Alex Link, our current points leader. Then we have Chris Vinson, another newcomer here. Outside row five is Jeremy Weigel. Then we have Seth Hagen and Andrew Ton. And then in row seven, we have Jeremy Garand and Josh Benoit. And Ron Holmes will bring up the end.
Yep, so 15 men and machine take to the Martinsville, the famous Paperclip track tonight here in primetime Thursday night. The field is set on the grid. Pace truck getting ready to roll off. And I'm about ready to buckle up in my own 5-point harness here, because what we've seen so far, this series does not disappoint. Shout out to all you guys on YouTube, Whitney Nation in the house, of course. Thanks for all the support you guys give to your drivers this series. We certainly appreciate it. If you're new, go ahead, smash that like button, ring that bell. You can always count on us right here to bring you guys real-time sim racing action 7 days a week as we get ready to fire this one off tonight.
Yeah, definitely. As these guys get set up here, it'll be a matter of who has the most patience, I believe, for this race, and also probably a little bit of pit strategy, as the fuel won't matter and tires will.
Yeah, patience is going to be key. All this close, bunched up racing tonight can easily get your blood boiling. And the other part of this is the spotter and the crew chief. How well can they control the driver, be that voice of reason? We talked about that way back in Daytona, to help manage and get these drivers through this long, grueling race here tonight at Martinsville. We're about to find out.
Yep, Frank Peacock takes the green flag, and he is down and away and looking to get a little bit of a gap there, but just not quite enough. Clayton White goes a little wide on turn 1, but Brenson is still to the outside of Peacock.
Oh, certainly he is digging on the outside, the 15. He's going to try to take the lead on the outside, which is certainly not the preferred line, you would think, especially on fresh tires. But he is definitely making a bid for it as he continues to hang there, pinning the 13 of Frank Peacock down on the very inside line of the racetrack right now, as they're still 2x2.
Yeah, 2x2 out front, and everybody else kind of lined up behind him. Looks like Chris Vincent got in the wall towards the back of the field there, but up front, Brinson and Peacock side by side. Peacock gives up the lead, and Brinson falls down to the bottom.
Yeah, how about the power move by the 15 of Matthew Brinson, newcomer? Statement move right there. But you know what? Smart play by the 13. Probably decided he doesn't want to eat up those tires this early in the run. Smartly falls into line.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have quite a long race. I mean, 145 laps at Martinsville. May not seem like a lot, but it's still quite a ways to go.
Especially with only 3 sets of tires these drivers are going to have to manage all night long.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, the Brian Whitney fan club is definitely in the thick of it on our YouTube chat, as always. Alex.
Back out front right now, newcomer Matthew Brinson. He has certainly opened it up a little bit, almost got himself out to a half-second lead over Frank Peacock, followed by the 18 of Brandon Cooper, the 04 of Cody Porter, and the 32 of Oscar Jensen, rounding out your top 5 as they run right now.
Definitely, and we'll go back and take a look at one of our biggest movers, Josh Benoit here. He's up 4 positions from where he started, and looks like he's taking his time, but working through the field fairly well, as we have newcomers behind him with Seth Hagen and Andrew Ton, and then Jeremy Garand and Ron Holmes round out the field back here, as Chris Vincent is on pit lane at the moment.
Oh no, Chris Vincent just came over the radio in the driver's chat mentioning of a possible computer issue. You know, and that's one thing that drivers don't have to face in real life. But in the world of sim racing, computer issues and internet connections can certainly be your personal lady in black. It doesn't have to be at Darlington. These are real issues all these drivers face any point in time tonight. And certainly, unfortunately, that's what we're seeing on the racetrack right now. So hopefully he can get that corrected.
Yeah, we may not have mechanical failures, but we definitely have technology failures here. But Matthew Brinson is out to over a half-second lead over Frank Peacock and Brandon Cooper. Brandon Cooper's 0.3 back, and then Cody Porter is a couple tenths back from him.
You know, I almost wonder possibly if the 15, you know, being brand new to the series, wonder if he's up on the wheel maybe a little bit too much too soon. As we go throughout the run, we'll find out. We'll find out is if that truck falls off or not, and he starts to slide back through the field. But Steady Eddies would pretty much, in my book, be the name of the game tonight. Survive and be alive at the end. Like you were saying earlier, Mike, take your time, take the moves, race the racetrack, not yourself.
Yeah, definitely, as it looks like Oscar Jensen's getting a run on Cody Porter, but not quite able to make the pass, but he was down almost to the inside quarter panel there on Porter, but looks like Porter was able to straighten it up and is back out in front of Jensen.
Yeah, passing always difficult here at Martinsville, especially as these tires start to come up to temperature. They get a little greasy. Sometimes you almost have to rely on that chrome horn to make a pass, but once you start pulling that one out the bag, you better be careful because that's going to repay you, and usually not in the way that you want as the laps wind down. So certainly have to use that and manage that. Timing is critical anytime you pull out the chrome horn.
It most certainly is. As we go back here, it looks like Alex Link is up one position, was able to get by Brian Whitney. And then Josh Benoit is working the outside of Jeremy Waggle. And they are, looks like he's able to clear him there. Oh, everybody's...
Tell you what, I'm thinking these new paint schemes tonight. A lot of new paint, fresh paint schemes on the track. Alex Link's got the old 6-speed on his truck there, saved to manual, so I'm all about that. But, I mean, even a driver like Alex Link, someone that we typically see near the front of the field, only up, it looks like, one position, as you said, Mike. So I got to imagine, you know, passing may be more difficult than we anticipated.
Yeah, Oscar Jensen's down to the inside, about half a truck length to the good, and looks like he might be able to make that pass on Cody Porter. But Porter's still hanging out there as Clayton White tries to follow Jensen through that hole.
Well, that's the other thing, too. I mean, once you're able to punch the hole and get one truck out of the way, usually one or two are able to follow through. That's very consistent here at Martinsville. But look how long it took him to set up that pass, and sure enough, 53 of Clayton White follows through as well. But it took him 2 laps to set that pass up.
Yeah, now
well done by 32. Good execution by Oscar Jensen.
Yeah, definitely. He was working his way through. As Cody Porter gets loose and gets into the wall there, Alex Link was able to stand on the brakes and not get involved in that. As now Alex Link and Brian Whitney both able to make the pass on Cody Porter.
Yeah, just like that. A little too much brake, a little too much wheel in it, and the back of your truck is out to lunch. That could have been a lot worse. Great save, heads up driving about midway through the top 10.
Yeah, he looks like he got into the wall again. Like he is having issues tonight. But Oscar Jensen and Clayton White have hooked up and are making their way to the front. Oscar Jensen's up 3 positions.
Yeah, just as we were saying how tough it was going to be to pass here, Alex Link and Oscar Jensen, they have hit the John Force button, and they are moving up through the field right now. A couple tenths faster than everyone else it's looking, Mike.
Yeah, they've been running basically the same lines throughout and are making their way up towards the front. As Brian Whitney's been able to close in on Alex Link, trying to get that 76 truck in a position to pass him when it comes to one of these corners here.
Yes, certainly. The 76 is closing in on the back of the 10. applying the pressure right now. Can't seem to get the corner exit, but he definitely closes it in on corner entry. Oh, and a little bit of a miss coming off the corner. Alex Link still able to maintain the position. 76 overdrove it just a little bit, digging deep into the corner. Some great racing going on here in the 6th and 7th position right now.
Yeah, these guys are definitely putting it out on the track as Brian Whitney gets down to the inside and is going to make that pass on Alex Link.
You know, smart heads-up play by the 10. Probably didn't want to hold him up or put himself in a situation to get some damage on that truck. Smartly lets him go. Looks like the 10 has a little bit of a handful right now early on in this run, but if I remember correctly, this is an open setup race, so maybe some of these guys have a setup for the short run versus the long run, or as we wear on into the, only time will tell, but certainly different strategies will align at some point tonight.
Yeah, we've seen these guys make a little bit wrong setup at the beginning, and as they make that first pit stop, they make their adjustment and then they just come flying through the field. So we'll see if Alex is able to do that, or if it's just going to be where it's going to be. And as we're looking at these two battle it out, Clayton White was able to get around Oscar Jensen here and is currently sitting in P4. We'll jump back up front and take a look at our leaders here as they move their way around.
Back up front, your man on point newcomer, Matthew Brynson, still holding on to that P1 position. However, Frank Peacock is consistently closing that gap. It was about a half a second at one point, now down to under 2/10. Followed closely by the 18 of Brandon Cooper, who's coming on as well. 53 of Clayton White knocking on the door, and don't count out Oscar Jensen. He's back there holding down the 5th position. That's your current top 5 as they run right now.
Yeah, it looks like we got a Clayton White dealing with the lap truck there of Ron Holmes. Ron Holmes is going to kind of try and stay out of his way a little bit here as he stays high and allows Clayton White to go through as we have caution.
Yellow.
Let's go back and take a look here. It looks like Alex Link maybe.
See here what happened to the 10 of Alex Link.
Oh, just on the gas a little too soon. It looks like didn't really get any damage, just got a little damage to the tires, but other than that, able to keep it clean. But because he was sideways in the track, they threw out that caution flag.
Certainly disaster avoided for the 10 of Alex Link. He's definitely going to want to come down pit road, make an adjustment. Very fortunate at a track like Martinsville, not a lot of real estate to work with. 8 times out of 10, you turn that truck or that car, it's going to contact either the outside wall or the inside wall. So certainly could have been a lot worse for the 10 as pit stops undergoing on pit road right now.
Yeah, it looks like we got Josh Benoit and Jeremy Garin that are staying out at the moment. And as we head to pit stops here, let me just go ahead and thank one of our sponsors. We will go up here and Martin Sports. They are the sponsor of this race, and they are giving away of those Martin Sports racing gloves. Martin Sports and Great Lakes Clothing Company are a family-owned business that have been serving Marquette County, Delta County, Alger County, and Michigan's Upper Peninsula, or the UP, for over the past 10 years. Martin Sports and Great Lakes Clothing Company continue to expand and grow with each passing year, starting from one simple embroidery machine to multiple machines, screen pressing, heat pressing, custom sublimation printing, a major brand in the sim racing market, and more. Such growth has continually allowed them to offer the highest level of service to their retail team and corporate accounts. Visit them at martinsports906.com. So definitely want to thank them and Scott Martin there for coming on board.
Yeah, certainly big shout out to them and all of the sponsors and everyone that's involved in supporting this racing league, allowing us to be up here in the booth, Mike, be able to call this awesome race and bring it to all these viewers watching us right now on the live stream. Wouldn't be possible without all of their support and all they do for the eSIM community.
So yeah, as they're getting stacked up here again, we will be going green this time by Josh Benoit stayed out. So he is the only one that stayed out this time. So he is in fact our leader, up 13 positions right now and has the button, but Matthew Brinson's on his outside and looks to take back the lead that he had to relinquish there when he made his pit stop.
Yep, here we go. And out of the gate, what a start by Josh Benoit on old tires. He rockets out to the front. What a restart. I can't believe it, Mike.
Yeah, it looks like he just got enough of a run, and Brinson goes, okay, well, you can have that. I'll get behind you, and then I'll cut down the next corner, which is exactly what he's doing as they get side by side, almost touching, but they stay green.
Yeah, they stay green right now, and Josh Benoit does not want to give that lead up, but the age of those tires have to be coming into play right now. I was wondering about that move as he falls to the clutches of the 18 and probably more than likely the 13 of Frank Peacock. Hopefully he can stop the bleeding because I was really concerned about that move. We'll have to see how this plays out as only time will tell. But back to the point, newcomer Matthew Brinson showing the way right now with a fast truck, it looks like tonight, Mike.
Yeah, he definitely has a fast truck. He's up to 0.3 of a second. Brandon Cooper is throwing down some fast laps, though. Ran the fastest lap of the race in the 19.31 that time. But as we look back at Benoit here, he has not been able to get to that inside line, and everybody is just running a train because, man, there is no stopping the bleeding right now as Cody Porter's down to his inside as well.
Yeah, Josh Bennett just praying there is an opening daylight to the bottom of the racetrack so he can get down and stop the bleeding. Going the wrong way in a hurry. Oh, as the 54 almost comes up the racetrack and makes contact with him. They're side by side right now as we go across the start-finish line, barreling down into one. 46 still trying to hold on strong on that outside. And it looks like it's going to be a twofer as Alex Link's going to motor on by down the inside as well.
Yeah, it looks like Alex Link made an adjustment on that pit stop, and he is moving his way back towards the front as he now has Andrew Ton right in his sights.
Yeah, you were talking about it, Mike. A lot of these drivers have the ability, if they miss the initial setup, go ahead, add a click here, around a wedge there, and they fire off like a brand new truck that hasn't seen the racetrack when they go back green. And that's what the 10 of Alex Link is doing right now. His truck is hooked up, eating it down low on the racetrack at this time. As we go back to the front, run down through the field, here's your top 5 trucks as they run right now. The 15 of Matthew Brinson, the 18 of Brandon Cooper, the 13 of Frank Peacock, 32 of Oscar Jensen, the 76 machine of Brian Whitney, rounding out your top 5 as they run.
Yeah, definitely. And as we were doing that, I was looking back through the field here, and I don't know what seemed to happen, but looks like Clayton White might have got a pit road speeding penalty. He spent a lot of time in the pits there.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He's currently being mired back 2 laps down. Have to wonder maybe there was a speeding penalty or maybe just bad execution on pit road. But one of our favorites tonight, the 53, 2 laps down, but still early on. And at a track like Martinsville, you can overcome 2 laps. That is very possible.
Oh yeah, definitely. You get a couple quick cautions, and
just
there
like
you go. Yep. At least I said it as it was coming out, not before, so it's not the announcer's curse.
Hey, now you can thank the announcer. See, we did something good for you guys for once.
Looks like it's Alex Link again. Gets down right behind Cody Porter, gets on the brakes, slams the gas. Oh, that time he was not able to keep it off. That wall went right into that outside wall with his nose.
Yep. Definitely smacked the front of that TRD into the wall. Doesn't look too bad, though.
No, not too bad, and it looks like Josh Benoit is going to make up for his mistake there earlier in not pitting with the other guys. He was able to get a bonus point, so, I mean, a point's a point, I guess. So
no, you're right.
It looks like just him and Alex Link are coming down. Clayton White should be getting one of his laps back as he's working his way through the outside of the field. If Matt would get out of his way. Matt doesn't want anybody to pass him.
No. Oh, well, Mike, we talked about it. Begin top of the race. You know, what are these guys going to bring us tonight? So far, it's nothing short of what we've seen. High octane, high intense racing out on the racetrack. Really kind of a shocker to me seeing the 10 having this many issues early on. But then again, this is really the first short track, at least since I've been covering this action with you, that we've seen maybe a little bit of a gray area for the 10. But you know what? It's not over until it's over. And I never count the 10 out. Anything's possible.
Yeah, definitely. You know, working our way through this short track. I mean, they set this up so there's going to be several equalizing tracks. But Alex Link, if he runs the rest of the races the way he's ran those first few, I don't think he has anything to worry about if he just shows up to these short tracks and dirt tracks and stuff like that.
Yeah, if I'm the 10, I just want to take a breath, just kind of refocus myself in that truck. Could be trying to be a little bit too aggressive to recover these positions on the racetrack. So look for his spotter, his crew chief, to settle him down just a little bit as we get ready to go back for some green flag racing here at Martinsville.
Yeah, we should be getting the one to go this time, I believe. And they'll stack them back up.
And you were right, Mike. The 53 at Clayton White did get one of his laps back, so now he's only one lap off the lead pace.
Yeah, so if we can get these guys, we can get another quick caution here and everybody else doesn't pit as well, he'll hit that other lap back and be right back to contending for the lead as the pace truck jumps in. Matthew Brinson has the button for the first time here. Makes their way down to the Geico restart zone, and he is away. Looks like he might have spun the tires a little bit, but he jumps out to the middle of the track. Brandon Cooper falls in behind him, but Oscar Jensen is trying to work that outside line with Cody Porter right behind him.
Oh, that's right, Oscar the philosopher, and that 32. Oh, I did it again. Oscar, I'm sorry.
They're staying green.
How did he save
Oh my.
that? Are you kidding me?
Wow. Well, while they're staying green here, let's go back and take a look here.
I mean, that truck was pointed straight to the inside retaining wall.
Yeah, it looks like here they come through, heading down into the corner, and Frank just gets into the side of him. I guess they stay on the wall and they keep rolling, so they're going to keep it green, but wow.
Incredible. Oh, wait, no. Now caution's out on the racetrack.
Oh, it looks like Matthew Brinson. Let's take a look here at Matthew Brinson.
15. Yeah, 15's complaining about being squeezed down to the inside. Let's see what this replay has to say.
Oh, 18 was back and take a look here. As you can see here, it looks like 15 and 18. 18's just inside. Just barely clips that inside curb and bounces up into the 15, spins him around.
Yeah, and that is a problem with the curbing here at Martinsville. It's not a smooth transition. It is abrupt, and it can definitely, knock the front of that truck up in the air and offset the valence of that race truck, especially in the corner, which is likely what happened.
But as I was saying, Clayton White gets his caution here, and it gets his lap back. So he will be on the lead lap.
Yeah, and just like that, the 53 of Clayton White, right back in the thick of things. That's one of the beauties of short track racing. Certainly a couple of these drivers are going to have something to talk about in the truck afterwards. Motion starting to build up here at Martinsville. Right on cue, if you ask me, Mike.
Yeah, about halfway through the race. Sounds about about the same time as usual. So we have a new leader now, Brandon Cooper with Brian Whitney. Oh, they should be getting ready to stack up, and we'll get back to racing here shortly.
Yep, we're going to re-rack them, restack them. We're going to reload the button, which will be in the hands of the 18 of Brandon Cooper this time. Taste the rainbow on the truck tonight. Skittles, primary sponsored on board. That's a good-looking TRD Toyota Tundra.
Yep, so this should be... Yep. Lights are out. Brandon Cooper takes the inside, Brian Whitney the outside. Oscar Jensen on the inside with Andrew Ton behind him. And Josh Benoit up 9 positions to P5 right now.
Where did he come from? Shout out to Josh Benoit. Looks to me like he's the biggest mover of the race. As the pace truck drives off down the pit road, here we go, folks. We hit the Geico restart zone, and we are off. 18 launches it, grabs another gear as he barrels down into turn 1, clears the 76, able to take the preferred line onto the backstretch.
Oh, we got Clayton White crashing. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Back and take a look here.
Oh, he's got some heavy damage. He's got smoke rolling out the back of that truck.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy Garand slowed up, tried to get to the back. And we have Ron Holmes in the middle, Alex Link on the inside, Clayton White on the outside. Alex Link taps Ron Holmes there. Ron Holmes loses it, goes right in front of Clayton White, and they both go into the wall.
Yeah, it's certainly patients are currently unraveling as we speak, Mike. Just as you were saying, about halfway through the race, you can see that all over the 53 as he Evel Knievel's it over the berm onto pit road. Heavy damage, taking an evaluation of the 53. Yeah, that's some moderate damage. You got to wonder here if that power plant's hurt. Seen a decent amount of smoke coming out of the back, but I'm not sure if that was tire smoke or not.
So as we're under caution again, we're going to go ahead and step aside and pay some bills here. And we will be back shortly.
drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
And we are back here at the Keep Your Grip at the Paperclip. 145 laps at Martinsville Speedway of the fired up eSports League. Just coming back out of caution. Had a couple rash of cautions here, Matt, and look forward to how this race is going to end now.
Certainly cautions breed cautions, and that's what we've seen. We ran the 50-plus laps of this race pretty much incident-free, but it certainly seems like that script has flipped as drivers' tempers start to boil over, and we're certainly seeing that right now on the racetrack. We got drama at the front of the field, drama near the rear of the field. Hopefully these guys can gather it back up, get back to just logging some laps here on the racetrack. You definitely want to still try to keep your truck intact. It's not quite go time yet, but already
no, it definitely is not time to go yet. I mean, we're barely, not even quite, we're basically halfway through the race. But Matthew Brinson had a little incident earlier and is now back up into third position after Josh Benoit spun his tires a little bit there coming around that corner.
And certainly the 15 of Matthew Brinson, he is making a name for himself this race. Been up front pretty much all night tonight outside of that one miscue. Currently occupying the third position. Mired back almost a second and a half right now. So you got a pretty good gap within the top three, making that the top four. Top fourth place truck of Josh Benoit is a staggering 2.235 seconds back of the leader right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it looks like Nikki Cox is cheering on the 76 as usual, the Brian Whitney fan club. And then like we have a Scorpion Pitbull who is new. Well, welcome, and congrats on finding us. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications, and you won't miss anything we do.
Welcome to him showing us the love and everyone tonight in the YouTube chat. Thanks for checking us out. Hope you're enjoying the action here this Thursday evening. The 18 back out front continues to lead the way here at Martinsville, the famous Paperclip. 32 of Oscar Jensen trying to close it, reel him back in, if you will. He's got some significant damage to that inside trunk deck lid area, if you will. Have to wonder if that's just affecting his rear grip just a little bit, but certainly still remaining competitive on the racetrack at this time as he's holding down the third spot.
Yeah.
0-4.
Brinson just was able to make that pass, and he is looking to get back to Brandon Cooper, maybe have a little payback there. As Josh Benoit just went around in the front stretch there.
Oh, he went around in a big way.
Go back and take a look again here. Into the corner. Oh, just on that loud pedal a little bit too much, and around he goes. Seen that a few times here.
Mike, it's an easy mistake to make And oh, the 46 calls it quits. Decides to manually disconnect. So I'm pretty sure we're going to add him to the list of DNFs tonight. Unfortunate, you hate to see that. But that loud pedal can certainly be your worst friend at a track like Martinsville. And that's on full display right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see, you've seen Josh Benoit do it. You've seen Cody Porter do it. You've seen Alex Link do it. I mean, these guys that have been running some of the other tracks and running well, they come here and it's just a half a second or even less than that. I mean, if you hit that loud pedal just a little bit too soon, especially on the fresher tires, you're just going to go around.
Right, and you know, in your side-by-side racing, that's obviously the easiest way to make the pass, to beat the other competitor back on the accelerator, but at the cost of spinning out and, you know, killing your chances at finishing the race or having a solid finish. I've made that mistake plenty of times here at Martinsville, and I still struggle with it, to be quite honest with you.
As we have another member of the Whitney fan club check in, Austin Cox. These guys come out in force every week. Glad to have them, and you know, if you guys are sitting in the chat and want a little more time to your driver, definitely say who you think's going to win or who you're rooting for, or maybe what you think's going to happen in these next 50 or so laps.
Yeah, certainly no stranger. Whitney Nation, large and in charge in the YouTube chat. We love seeing you guys come out. You know, tell your friends, tell your neighbors. I mean, the more you can bring out, you know, enjoy this side-by-side, high-octane racing with us here every Thursday night. If you guys are your first time in the YouTube chat, smash that like button, ring that bell. That will let you know every single time we have race coverage live for you guys every single day of the week right here at SRM.
As it looks like they're getting back to stacking them back up, but it looks like, as you said, it looks like Josh Benoit, Clayton White, Ron Holmes, Seth Hagen, and Chris Vincent all called it quits earlier, which leads us with a field of 10 at the moment.
Attrition, attrition, attrition. Always one of the main storylines, short track racing, especially as the sun goes down and the lights come on. There you well, the nighttime is the right time, and we're back under green in the 18 Rocket. Out to the front. What a restart by the 18 of Brandon Cooper. Totally just walked the 15 of Matthew Bryson, but he's able to close it back in. He knows how to get around this racetrack. He's proven that so far tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Cody Porter was able to get around Brian Whitney there, as Whitney got stuck on that outside line. Definitely not the preferred line to be in, as he lost a couple positions, but is able to fall back in line. Oscar Jensen right behind him, looking to close in and make a pass.
Yeah, the high line here at Martinsville just doesn't have the grip. There's not as much forward bite. You can't transition back to that loud pedal as soon as you want to. When you get hung out there, it feels like an eternity just praying for a spot to open up, or you can come back down to the preferred groove.
Yeah, definitely. As we're sitting here looking at Brandon Cooper last pitted on lap 34, so he's definitely on a little bit older tires. Matthew Brinson pitted on lap 59. So we'll see if, I believe he probably took 4 tires, so we'll see if Cooper's trying to save a set for the final 40 or so laps.
I'd have to bet that's what he's doing. I think you're right on the money there, Mike.
Oh, Oscar Jensen goes around. Go back and take a look here.
the 76 is hot. He did not like that move.
Yeah, it looks like Oscar was just slower than Brian Whitney was, and he couldn't check up because the 13 Toyota Frank Peacock was right behind him.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not as easy as getting on the brakes, because then you got to be worried about being run over by that truck that's closely in pursuit of you. It's really tough to see through one truck, let alone two.
Yeah. So it looks like Matthew Brinson came down pit road. Oscar Jensen, Cody Porter. Looks like Alex Link stayed out to get his lap back and then or get his free pass, and now is on pit road. So he will probably start at the tail end here. Anyway, so he's elected in the pit.
Yeah, starting to see some different pit strategies play out on the racetrack. Place your bets, if you will. But these caution laps are only helping that 18, especially with older tires. Not putting any more wear and tear on him right now under caution. In fact, he's giving him a chance to cool back down a little bit. So certainly this helps, drivers like this 18, the 76, really anyone inside the top four. Saw a little bit of a different strategy call there. I forget exactly who it was, but you had mentioned it. Mike came down pit road, put 4 fresh feel goods on his vehicle.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew Brinson completed a pit stop there. We'll see how that all shakes out. But once again, this is the Fired Up Esports League, season number 3, brought to you by White River Subaru. White River Subaru is locally and family owned and operated. They're still White River Subaru in our beautiful new state-of-the-art facility located in White River Junction, and you'll find the same sales and service team you've come to rely on. But we're no longer owned by a corporate parent in Massachusetts. Instead, we have 2 co-owners, David Rosenberg, dealer principal, and Chris Kovakovic, general manager. Please check out our beautiful new state-of-the-art facility. We built a roomy and comfortable showroom and customer waiting area. Our service facility is equipped with the latest technology that allows us to service both the newest Subaru models and those with lots of mileage and age.
Yeah, certainly if you're up in that area, go up there, stop in, show them the love, tell them you heard about them on iRacing as the pace truck ducks off down pit road. We get ready to fire these bad boys off into turn 1 more time. On the loud pedal, the 18 goes to the high side. Gonna arc that truck in, down into turn number 1. Preemptively throwing the block on the 76 of Brian Whitney. Whitney Nation, here you go. Your driver up there in P2. And you know what? I think he's got something for the 18, Mike.
Well, he definitely has fresher tires. Last pitted on lap 65. So he definitely should be able to have a little bit of ground there. As it looks like the 13 Toyota Frank Peacock is back up in the top 3 after falling back a little ways after being involved in a couple incidents. And Matthew Brinson is sitting in P4 after coming down pit lane that time.
Yeah, that is just staggering that the 15 is in P4 right now. But hey, that's what happens when you only have, 10 or so trucks on the lead lap. You really don't pay that much of a premium for from pitting off cycle or off sequence.
Nope. Looks like we have another issue here. Let's go back and take a look. Side-by-side racing, Jeremy Weigel and Cody Porter. Oscar Jensen drops down to the inside, makes it 3 wide. And you just can't really do 3 wide here.
Yeah, the sandwich just does not work here at the Paperclip.
No, as Cody Porter was able to get going. And Jeremy Weigel was kind of basically the meat in that sandwich and tried to keep his line, but was afraid to go up and really couldn't go down. And got bumped
Yeah,
up by
Weigel
Oscar
got
and went right into
in
the.
that deal.
Yeah.
Not a lot of damage, though, on the 20. Truck looks pretty good. It's coming down pit road, about ready to perform service.
Yeah, it looks like not too much damage. Was able to kind of spin and not really hit anything. What's going on here with Matthew Brinson as he slowed down to the back of the field here? But Brandon Cooper still leads.
Yeah, Matthew Brinson back on the gas pedal. He's going to fall in line right behind the 13 of Frank Peacock. Not sure what that was about. Maybe he had to switch ignition boxes.
Maybe. As it looks like Brandon Cooper and Brian Whitney are still up front. Peacock and Brinson will be in row 2. Row 3 will be Andrew Ton and Oscar Jensen. Then you have row 4, Alex Link and Jeremy Garland. And then Jeremy Weigel and Cody Porter.
Yeah, those are currently your lead lap machines, drivers tonight currently as they run. You know, trends of the race, Mike. The first 50-some laps, we didn't have a caution anywhere in sight, and now we just can't seem to get rid of them.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Cautions breed cautions, especially here at a short track. And then you get guys on different pit strategies with different tires, and some guys that were running up front or get a little frustrated running towards the back of the field. I mean, it's something that just happens when you're short track racing.
Right, all these different sub-storylines, if you will, all coming into the formula and kind of creating this current trend that we're seeing right now. In a track like Martinsville, it's a hard trend to break. Looks like the lights are off on the pace truck. So it looks like we're going to be going back to green flag racing this time by. A lot of chat going on in the driver's side of things right now, rightfully so. Been a lot of incidents out on the racetrack, but nonetheless, here we go. Fire, and we're back off to green flag racing as we barrel down towards the turn 1. 18th still showing the way, but out there on the high side, 76 of Brian Whitney. Oh,
yep.
Brandon Cooper comes up to throw the block. Oh,
And there it happened again.
Oh no.
Peacock hit that
no.
inside curb and bounced right into Brian Whitney.
That inside curve is just
Here,
detrimental.
we'll slow it down right now. Whitney on the high side. Peacock hits that and can't turn and goes right into that rear quarter panel. Matt Bronson gets into the back of Peacock, and Oscar Jensen gets in the back of Brinson there.
Oh, the accordion effect on display. Mike, you can't turn when your front wheels are up in the air.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, we've got a little less than 40 laps. Let's see if these guys can reel it in and put on a good show for these last what, it'll be probably 36 laps when we go green again.
Yeah, these last 36 laps, I think we're about to see a whole new level of intensity, because now you're getting into crunch time, right, Mike? Now it's coming down to potentially your last stop. I doubt you have that many sets of tires remaining, if not any. So some of these guys are pretty much set with what they got for the remainder of this one. Track position this race has been, pretty important if you ask me. So you
Yeah,
got the 18.
I mean, like you were saying, Brandon Cooper here hasn't pitted since lap 34, and he's been out front. Matthew Brinson has pitted 3 times, last pitted on lap 91, so he is looking to get the lead back from the 18 here, and they'll be on the front row.
You know, could clean air be playing that much of a factor here at a track like Martinsville?
I don't know that it's necessarily clean air, because we haven't had that many green flag laps between cautions. I think if we get a few more green flag laps, I'm gonna say you're gonna see that those tires come to fruition more so than we have lately. I mean, if you just heat them up for a little bit and then cool them back down, you're really not wearing them too much. So we'll see what happens with the 15 Toyota on 60 lap fresher tires.
Yeah, you would have to think that at some point, if not already, that would come into play. But the 18 has just done a masterful job on these restarts in maintaining those older tires. But I think, like you said, Mike, you know, you get some, you're able to put together 10, 15 laps, and I got to imagine those fresher Goodyears are going to play a key role here in the outcome of this race.
As we get ready to go back green, Brandon Cooper has the button, but Matthew Brinson is right on his outside, and they've both had it. Dynamite starts as the 18 gets out to a lead again, but Brinson is right behind him. Oscar Jensen making his way on the inside with, looks like Cody Porter trying to follow Link as well.
I'll tell you what, I want to know what rear end gear that 18 is running, because he's on the granny tires and the 15 spun. The 15 spun him on the restart. The 18 hooked up. But hey, closing in back on the clutches of the back door of the Skittles machine. Matthew Brinson trying to put the 18 under duress right now at the front of the field, Mike.
Yeah, Brinson's all over that back bumper. Looks like he's looking for maybe a little bit of payback from an earlier incident that we had. But he definitely has shown that he's been one of the faster trucks on track. I mean, being a newcomer and all, he was out to a half-second, almost second lead for the beginning part of this race before that happened.
Yeah, he may be new, but he is not afraid to mix it up with these guys at the front of the field tonight. Man, and he is dialing up the pressure on the back of that Skittles machine, putting that driver right in the pressure cooker, if you will. But let's not forget about the 32 of Oscar Jensen. He's been on the receiving end of a couple of these deals tonight and still finds himself within the podium spot, P3 right now on the racetrack. Alex Link, we haven't talked about him that much at all tonight, and he's somehow in P4.
Yeah, definitely making those adjustments and making his way back up towards the front. As we see behind him, looks like a couple guys might have gotten to the wall a little bit. We check back with Brian Whitney after running up in P2 after getting a little bump there. He's looking to the inside of Jeremy Weigel. And looks like he's going to make that pass here on the front stretch.
Yeah, as they fire off down the rest of the front stretch and battle down into turn one. The 76 of Whitney eating it on the inside. But they go around down the backstretch. Gonna try to outbreak the 20 into the corner. Definitely has the preferred line, should be able to pick up the loud pedal and completes the pass. And that's textbook passing here at Martinsville.
Most certainly is, as Brandon Cooper is out to a half-second lead right now over over Matthew Brinson and Oscar Jensen.
I can't believe it, Mike. I mean, the tire differential is just staggering, and the 18's walking away.
Yeah, I don't know what the 18 has done here, but if you look back through the field, the guys on fresher tires are moving a lot faster than the other guys.
And that certainly seems to be the case, except at the front of the field.
Yeah,
but
Andy
the
Kahn
18
and
getting it done. He is large and in charge out front right now, not showing any signs of fading. Well, not yet, anyhow. We still got some laps left to go. We are currently rolling lap 121.
That'll be interesting to see if his tires fall off once we get going a few more laps. But we're already 10 laps into this run, and he's pulled almost a second lead over Matthew Brinson here.
Right. In fact, the 32 of Oscar Jensen starting to put the 15 under duress.
Yeah, we've talked about several of these guys multiple times during the races we've called, and it's always, well, they'll make their way back up, and that's exactly what's happening with Oscar Jensen. Cody Porter even is up in P4. Alex Link right behind him in P5. And then you have Brian Whitney, who had to start towards the back after he had to hit pit road after that accident, and is already back up to P6.
Mike, you're absolutely right. Certainly all these names are the names you would expect to see at the front of the field, especially throughout the time I've been here with you covering this high-octane, high-impact racing here on the racetrack tonight. The 32 of Oscar Jensen was closing it in on the back of the 15. Now it looks like he may be overdriving the center of that corner just a tick as that nose starts to slide up at the apex of the corner. Maybe just try backing the corners up a little bit. You still got time.
Yeah, with 20 laps to go, you got to try and figure out something. So if you have to back up the corners a little bit, maybe not so much brake and able to get back on the loud pedal a little faster. You got to do something, because Brandon Cooper is running away with this race right now with almost a 2-second lead at Martinsville.
Am I seeing that correctly? A 1.61 second lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Can track position be the storyline of the night here at Martinsville?
Right now, it's going to have to be, because you have guys that have made 3 or 4 pit stops and have nothing for Brandon Cooper.
One thing I can tell you about the 18 setup that I've been noticing here a little bit, that front balance of that race truck does not come off the asphalt very much under throttle or under load in the corner. Compared to some of these other trucks with their setups, that valence is certainly coming up a couple inches. So you gotta wonder, I mean, does this guy just happen to have a money setup in this truck? Or is he just that good where he don't care how old his tires are, he says, I'm gonna go out here and get it done anyhow?
It might be, but as we look back here, Brian Whitney just made that pass on Alex Link, and now he is sitting in P5 and looking to get Cody Porter, as Whitney has been one of the more dominant drivers here tonight. Looks like he has the paperclip figured out.
Yeah, he may be scuffed up and roughed up, but he is not done by any means. Little bit of a wiggle coming off the corner as he picks up the loud pedal and gonna motor right on by, or try to motor right on by the 04 as he's got the third line coming off the corner, shooting down the backstretch. 76, bump him up another position. He is now in the top 5.
Go back out front here, and now Brandon Cooper. Oh my. Oh, Brandon Cooper does not want to see that.
No.
Cody Porter.
No.
Oh my. Take a look here at Cody Porter. Coming down the front stretch, gets into one. Oh. Looks like a little too hard on the brakes there.
Yeah, you know the song with Walk It Out? That's what he just did. He walked it out. Back of that truck was hanging out there like it was a drift event here at Martinsville.
So here we go again. 11 laps to go. Brandon Cooper staying out. Oscar Jensen sitting in P2. Brian Whitney in P3. Alex Link in P4. Frank Peacock in P5. Then Jeremy Garin in P6, up 7 positions.
You're absolutely right, Mike. Definitely the 18 did not want to see this. The man had a 2.6 second lead before trouble found the 04. Cody Porter throws a late race caution here. Going to set up a little dash for the cash, if you will, at the end here. Going to be inside of 10 laps to go when we go back to green. And as far as the pit stops and strategy goes, right, Mike, it's going to be cat and mouse. Whatever you're going to do, I'm just going to pretty much do the opposite.
Well, I would say that, but Brandon Cooper basically said, pit, I don't need a pit crew. I can do it myself.
You're not wrong. I mean, he's basically taken everything that we've learned at Martinsville over the years and just crumpled it up and threw it out the window.
I mean, you've got Oscar Jensen on basically 60 lap fresher tires. Brian Whitney probably took his last set of tires there on 106.
Right.
And then you've got Frank Peacock at 108. So, I mean, all these guys have way newer tires. It's going to be interesting to see if Matthew Brinson took his last set of tires right there, because he just came out of the pits, and he's been one of the faster trucks all night.
Right, was Matthew Brinson holding a joker in his sleeve, if you will, if a late race caution came out. Find out if he did, and he can cash in on it. But does the 18 of Brandon Cooper, does he have one more miraculous restart left in him? And I'm not so sure this race might go into overtime, Mike.
Well, let's hope with 7 to go, we are in for fun and excitement as the
Well, I'll definitely say everyone, especially in the YouTube stream, they've got fun, they've got excitement. Here we go, one more time, back on the loud pedal. We're gonna thunder back down into turn number 1. The 18 of Brandon Cooper still maintaining the lead. In fact, he shoots out. How? That tire deficit's not coming into play.
not at all, as Brian Whitney is up into P2. But the guy who's made moves through the field is Jeremy Garin. I don't know what he found in that truck, or if he just decided to say, I'm going for it, as he goes sideways.
Oh no, we got a spinner. 7 slams the outside wall.
I'm sorry, Jeremy, that would be my my curse there.
I didn't want to say it, only because every time you and I seem to pat someone on the back, it seems to strike back.
They go back and take
But
a look
how could you
here.
not mention him? I mean, he was flying.
And he jumped to the outside, was making a run on Oscar Jensen here, and looks like they might have just had a little bit of netcode, like barely touched, and he got shot up the track.
Yeah, I'm going to say I agree with you there, Mike. I don't even think they touched, and the way that truck reacted, very unfortunate, but I'm going to say that was a victim of netcode there for sure.
But he was working his way through the field, and apparently lightning struck there.
Yeah, lightning struck as he had the afterburners on full military power on that truck, because he was flying. He's going to bring it down pit road. See what the 7 does here. Doesn't have too much damage. The front valance just a little out of sorts. Not terrible, certainly by Martinsville standard. Brings it down to his pit stall. Brings the truck down to a halt. Service performs on the 7.
So as you were talking, about overtime, that is exactly where we are heading here today.
Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. I don't know about you, Mike, but I live for overtime races under the lights at Martinsville.
Yeah, so for those of you that do not know what NASCAR overtime is, we will rack them up. They will see the green flag. If the leader makes it all the way around and sees the white flag, we are racing to checkers. If not, if there is another caution before the leader sees that white flag, we will rack them up again and do it again.
Mike, I am sitting literally on the seat of my chair right now. I don't know about you, but I'm not even driving in this race, and I'm almost breaking a sweat.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, luckily the fuel window is only, 130 laps. But Brandon Cooper, even if we go to another green-white checker, he should have plenty of fuel, even though he last stopped on lap 34. But if you're Brian Whitney on that outside line, you have got to try and get down as quick as you can, or you're going to be going backwards in a hurry.
Right. And rewriting the Martinsville rule book as we go on tonight, the man on the rainbow this evening, Brandon Cooper, he's going to lead him down. He's got that button reloaded, reset, as we fire off again, and he just shoots out of a cannon.
Yeah, out to already 0.3 of a second. Brian Whitney gets down to the inside, but we will re-rack him again.
Caution again. Oh, the 18 is just probably saying to himself, how many restarts am I going to have to do to close this thing out?
Yeah, let's go back
He's got to
here.
be scratching his head.
Let's go back here. Rewind it a little bit.
Tell you what, you guys at home that decided to watch this one, you are getting one whale of a race.
Yeah, it gets bounced up there. Andrew Ton does into the 15 of Matthew Brinson. Comes down back down the track in front of Cody Porter. Alex Link hops the curb to avoid him. Man, as everybody
Alex
just
Link,
basically gets
the
stacked
evil
back up
Knievel
again.
line there.
So we will rack him up again.
Is this an unlimited green-white checkered scenario, Mike, or are we only getting a couple cracks at this?
I believe this is the last one. So they will rack him up, turn him loose, and next flag will end it unless it's the checker. So
Right, and I
it'll go,
believe if it goes that route, Mike, sorry for cutting you off, the field will be frozen at the moment of caution, correct?
correct. So if you're Brian Whitney, you are going to want to get this restart as perfect as you can, because the 18 has just been lights out. If the 18 gets the lead he's gotten, I don't know that anybody will be able to catch him.
If he shoots out of the cannon like that one more time, it's over. And I hate to say that, but that's just what we've seen every single restart we've gotten tonight, and we've got plenty of them. Well, let's see if Whitney Nation here in the YouTube chat can give some of that love to their driver sitting on the outside of the front row and catapult him to the front here on this last and final restart this evening as the pace lights come back on the race truck.
Yeah. I don't know why that happened. Waiting for somebody to catch up or something, maybe?
Maybe. There was a little bit of a gap between the 8th place truck and the 9th place truck, but I'm not sure if that was it. Well, yet another twist and turn in the storyline for this grip at the Paperclip tonight.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here as they head down the backstretch. Get all lined up again. And Whitney Nation is loud in the chat as they get ready to go green.
That's what's up. Mike, you take this one, man.
Brandon Cooper has the button, and he leaves before they even get out of the corner. Has a huge jump. Brian Whitney right behind him as Oscar Jensen turns Whitney.
Oh, you hate to
Oh
see
my
it
gosh.
Oh, Brian just sent a shot and just came on the radio and said, I will see you next week, Oscar. You know, Whitney's probably had enough tonight, and rightfully so. But how about the king of restarts tonight on some old tires, 18 machine, getting it done, Mike.
Yeah, let's go back here. Let's go see here. Let's go back.
We're getting dicey in the driver chat.
Oh, yeah, they are. Let's go and take a look here. Oscar Jensen gets a run and runs right into the back bumper of Brian Whitney there and just turns him.
Okay.
And there's nothing they can do. So we will see how this all shakes out here, as it looks like Brandon Cooper will get the win. So we will see what happens with the rest of the field here.
You know how much tires he has left to burn down?
I don't know. But he is making his way towards the front stretch here and is going to try and burn it down.
Incredible. I mean, what the 18 just did here tonight is just, I'm sorry, but it's off the chain.
It
doesn't even do a
is.
burnout. He didn't even attempt it.
All right, let's see here if we can get Brandon up here. Hey, Brandon, Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Hey, not much, man. Congrats on the win, but I have got to know, how in the world were you able to hold off everybody on those old tires?
Man, we didn't have that many green flag runs, and during those green flag runs, my lap times were good. So I wasn't worried about my tires. I was worried about fuel. When the race ended, I had 3 laps to go, so thank God for that. But overall, Clayton got us a really good setup. Banging setup. It was faster than the whole pack, and I gotta really thank him. I gotta thank the team. They really helped me out with this one, with Brian being in second and Holmesy being my sponsor, and White River Subaru for sponsoring this league.
Well, congrats on the win, and you already thanked your sponsor. So I will I'll let you get back to celebrating with your teammates there at TLTM.
I appreciate it, man.
Yep. All right, Matt, let's see if we can get, I guess, our second place finisher here. Looks like Oscar.
Oscar Jensen, Matt Metler up in the
Hang
booth.
on.
You got me, bud.
All right, Matt.
Try this again. Oscar Jensen, Matt Metler up in the booth. You got me, sir.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, congratulations on a second place runner-up finish. Oh my God, that race was nothing short of high octane, action packed. I gotta ask you, I mean, that 18 had substantially older tires than everyone virtually on the racetrack. Did that just puzzle you how he was able to restart like that?
Yeah, that puzzled me and Matt there. I mean, he drove the heck out of that truck. I'll give it to him. It definitely did puzzle my brain and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of mind blown and was speechless, but props to him.
Certainly, I mean, Mike and I at the booth, we were speechless that he was able to do that as well. But hey, I mean, heck of a race on your part, though. I mean, you had to overcome some of your own adversity.
Yeah, that was quite the race, to be honest. I would have loved to have had a much more cleaner race, but just not a lot of respect given out there. And I'll admit I didn't give much to two people once I got ran into by them. But it's Martinsville, so everyone's running into each other at some point.
No, you said it right there. That's nighttime. That's short track racing. Certainly, some relationships are going to have to be massaged a little bit at this one. You know, heard a good bit of it in the driver's chat, and rightfully so. But man, great heads-up racing on your part. Way to adapt and overcome. Congratulations on your second-place runner-up finish tonight. Anyone you would like to thank?
Yeah, just thanks to Clayton and the league for putting on this event. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. Thanks to Alex Link for the setup, as well as Cody Porter and everyone at Nexus and Money Shift Media.
Well, there it is, folks. Oscar Jensen comes home second place tonight. Right here as we're gripped up at the Paperclip. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Matt. I have our third place finisher, Cody Porter. Hey, Cody, Mike up in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, you guys.
Well, a little adversity, as usual at a short track. But you were able to bring home P3 tonight. What are your thoughts on the race?
It's 3 weeks in a row going to take about the same guy, so not the funnest time. And it's worse that it's your teammate, so it doesn't make it fun. But we'll move on to next week. Go build a good dirt track setup and hope to get a win.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you were pretty strong there. Had a couple little, like tires were falling off and you were getting a little slick there. But overall, looks like you had a good truck.
Yeah, we built for the wrong conditions. We built it for more of a tighter condition, unfortunately, so we put the wrong rear spring in it. Sucks. So the first pit stop, we made it a lot tighter, and then actually made it too tight. So then we fell off again, and then just kept getting caught up on other people's mistakes, which is whatever, short track racing. So we'll move on to hopefully our road course, strong suit, and then the bigger tracks again, another strong suit of mine, and hope to rebound and get some wins finally.
Awesome. Well, what do you want to thank for your third place finish here?
I gotta thank Money Shift Media, Moonlight Speed Concepts. I gotta thank you guys and Fuel for the awesome league.
Awesome. Well, I will let you get back to it, and maybe I'll talk to you, if not next week, in a couple weeks when we head back to the road courses.
Hopefully. See you guys.
All right. Later. All right, Matt. So we are done here. Let's bring up the race results.
Let's. Mike, this series never disappoints. I'll tell you that.
Definitely does not. I mean, these guys, granted it was a short track, but they still put on a heck of a race. Guys coming from the back to the front to the back. I mean, side-by-side racing. Kept it relatively clean. Was a couple incidents there, but overall, I mean, it was a pretty good race. Let's go ahead and run down this order of finish here. We got Brandon Cooper winning the race. Oscar Jensen, P2. Cody Porter in third. Alex Link in fourth. Brian Whitney able to salvage a P5. Frank Peacock in sixth. Jeremy Weigel in seventh. Matthew Brinson in eighth. Andrew Ton and Jeremy Garland round out the top 10. Clayton White was able to get his truck repaired and run a few laps to get a couple more points. Josh Benoit in 12th, Ron Holmes 13th, Seth Hagen and Chris Vinson 14th and 15th, and round out the field.
Yeah, the interesting part, and I'm just looking at this now because it felt like a lot more competitors on the racetrack. 15 trucks started the race tonight. Could you imagine if there was 30 out there on the racetrack?
Man, I couldn't imagine that. I mean, luckily these guys really didn't have to deal with too many lap trucks or anything like that. When you get the bigger fields, you have more lap trucks and more lap traffic to deal with, so there's a lot more side-by-side racing and probably a lot less forgiveness. But these guys were able to keep it relatively clean, and I mean, other than the little short track incidents that happen anywhere, able to complete their 150 laps of the scheduled 145.
No, Mike, you said it. I mean, once again, this series does not disappoint. Big thanks to Whitney Nation, all you guys that showed up to show your love and support for the series tonight in the YouTube chat. Remember, smash that like button, ring that bell. Count on us right here at SRM to bring you racing entertainment every single day of the week. We got you covered. And now I got to put my kids to bed. I mean, come on. I mean, how am I supposed to go from this to that?
I don't know. It's definitely one of the things that get your bloods flowing a little bit here. But for everybody here at Sim Racing Media and Matt Metler, I am Mike Damoni, and we will see you next week when we hit the dirt of Eldora.